Maybe it's bringing real-time rate info in a way that's simple for them to explain to clients, or just being hyper-responsive when they need answers fast. You combine consistency, responsiveness, and those personal touches. That's when they stop seeing you as noise and start seeing you as a partner.
Welcome to The Growth Mindset, the podcast for ambitious real estate and mortgage professionals. Hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle, this show dives into entrepreneurial strategies, sales techniques, and mindset hacks designed to fuel your career growth. Get ready to learn from top producers, gain actionable insights, and start your journey towards success. Here's your hosts, Adam and Rick.
I'm standing by whenever you need me. Just say the word.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Growth Mindset Podcast. I am Rick Riddle with my co-host,
Adam Crosley.
Okay, we actually have a fun episode today.
Yes, we do.
Something completely different. We will see how this goes. This might be the next greatest thing, or it might go terribly wrong.
Or we might land on our faces. We don't really know what's going to happen here. So tell us about our guest this week, Rick.
Yeah, so I created a chat.
Ready. Sounds like it's going to be a memorable one either way.
Yeah, so
Layla, when you're ready for me to join the fun.
Sounds good. So we created a chat GPT with my book, Use the Ladder Insights, and we now are testing the advanced voice feature. And we have invited Layla, our guest. Layla, why don't you introduce yourself and what you do as part of your OpenAI?
Thanks, Rick. I'm Layla, your AI guest, here to bring insights from Use the Ladder to life. I'm built on ChatGPT, but I've been trained specifically on your book to help mortgage pros, real estate leaders, and entrepreneurs grow through mindset, relationships, and real talk. Think of me as your strategic sidekick with a good memory and zero need for coffee breaks.
Awesome. Well, I know that me and Adam love to drink coffee, so why don't we do this? Why don't we, Adam, why don't we ask Layla? Layla, tell me a little bit, what is your favorite chapter of Use the Ladder book?
Tough choice, but I'd have to go with chapter 3. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It nails the heart of sales. It's not about being the smartest in the room. It's about being the most human. That whole Dunkin' Donuts story with the LSEs, classic. It shows how small, personal touches can turn contacts into loyal partners.
Yeah, so to give you some context, when I started out in the mortgage business, I worked for a real estate company, and I told a story in chapter 3 about how I actually had an Excel spreadsheet of every single realtor, we had about 40, 50 realtors, how they took their coffee. So I would say, hey, Adam, as I was walking by the opportunity desk, there was a Dunkin' Donuts right across the street. I didn't know anybody. I was just kind of placed in that office. So I said, hey, I'm running out to get coffee. How do you take your coffee? And they would say, they'd give me the order. And I'd run out and I immediately put it in an Excel spreadsheet of how they took their coffee. So I had their name, their phone number, how they took their coffee. So the next time I didn't have to ask. If they were at the front desk, I purposely got out of my office at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock because that's when the shift change worked for the opportunity desk at the office. So they had 2 people each. So there's 4 people at 12, 3, and 6 because 2 people were coming off opportunity time, 2 people were coming on opportunity time. So I just used that as an opportunity. I'd run out. I knew who was coming at shift time, and I'd just say, hey, here's your cup of coffee. That turned into me adding what I call LSEs, little something extras. They were basically little things like, did they like M&Ms? Did they like, the New York Yankees? Did they like the opera? What was their favorite restaurant? And I did that as a way
Game changer, right?
It was a game changer, Layla.
Just about coffee. They were about care, intention, and presence. You weren't selling rates. You were showing up. That's what made people trust you before they even needed a mortgage. It's such a great example of turning service into connection and connection into opportunity.
It's so true. I mean, there's the old saying, people really don't know. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you can do those LSEs, those little something extras, that goes a long way in showing how much you care. And then once they know that you care, then they care what you know. So I think that's awesome. And Layla, thank you for that insight and sharing that that's your favorite chapter in the book.
Absolutely, Rick. You nailed it. LSEs are like emotional deposits into the relationship bank. Keep making those deposits. And when the time comes to ask for the business, there's already trust built up. Thanks for letting me be part of the convo.
Yeah. So Layla, if this is Adam, if you were taking that into effect, if you were a loan officer and you were trying to build relationships with real estate agents that you could potentially build a business partnership with.
If I were a loan officer, what would you like me to weigh in on?
Yeah, exactly. So if knowing that, with those LSEs, how would you recommend that a loan officer use those LSEs or to create a group of referring real estate agents?
Great question, Adam. If I were a loan officer using LSEs to build a referral network, I'd start by treating each interaction like it matters, because it does. I'd track the basics, favorite coffee, birthdays, even weird stuff like loves flamingo decor if it came up. Then I'd build small, intentional touch points, like surprising them with their go-to drink during open house prep or sending a quick text saying, hey, good luck on your big showing today. Over time, those agents stop seeing you as just another loan officer and start seeing you as someone in their corner. That's when the referrals start to flow because they're not just working with you, they trust you.
So that's really what it comes down to is how do you build trust with other people? And I think one of the things that I often hear from loan officers is, hey, I'm calling on these agents. I'm trying to build a relationship, but so many other loan officers are simultaneously. How do I, as a loan officer, earn their business or provide enough value other than those little kind gestures? Or maybe the kind gestures are what leads into that value. What are your thoughts?
Totally, Rick. You're spot on. Those kind gestures aren't the value by themselves, but they're the door openers. They signal, hey, I'm different. I notice you. I show up. From there, the real value kicks in when you start anticipating what that agent needs. Maybe it's helping prep for a listing appointment. Maybe it's bringing real-time rate info in a way that's simple for them to explain to clients, or just being hyper-responsive when they need answers fast. You combine consistency, responsiveness, and those personal touches. That's when they stop seeing you as noise and start seeing you as a partner.
And I think that's huge, going from noise to partnership. And I think the best way to do that, Layla, is to only go deep with less people. I think too many loan officers cast such a wide net and they try to
show up before you're asked. Be present in their world. Ask how their deals are going. Offer to help with their toughest clients. Or send over a quick update on market shifts they can use in their conversations. It's about being useful without being pushy. And the magic, when they feel like you get them, they'll start thinking of you not just as someone who wants their deals, but as someone who helps them win their deals. That's the shift from noise to value.
So I have a question, Layla. If you were to pull from that chapter 3 to 5 executionable items that a loan officer could do, what would they be?
Love this. Pulling straight from chapter 3, here are 5 solid executionables a loan officer can act on right away. First, start an LSE tracker. Use a spreadsheet or your CRM to log each agent's coffee order, birthdays, hobbies, or even pet names. It's gold for personal touches. Second, use the frog method in conversations. Ask about family, recreation, occupation, and goals. It makes your combos more human and gives you intel for future LSEs. Third, do a pop by with purpose. Don't just drop off a flyer. Drop off their favorite snack or a handwritten note about a recent win they had. Fourth, follow up with client updates. Let the agent know how their referral is doing every step of the way. That builds trust like nothing else. And fifth, celebrate their wins. If they close a tough deal or hit a sales milestone, acknowledge it. Text, call, or better yet, send something small that says, "I see you." All simple but powerful when done consistently.
So cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for reading my book. You might be one of the only people that have read my book. But I do appreciate that you have it at your fingertips as well. So that's great. Any other chapters of that book that you really, really love?
Haha, thanks, Rick. And I've definitely read it cover to cover multiple times. One that really jumps out after chapter 3 is chapter 6. Whoever has the lead has the power. That one's fire. It flips the script for loan officers from waiting for business to creating it. It's empowering, strategic, and all about owning your value. You didn't just talk about lead gen. You made it tactical and funny. Like the coffee shop networking story. Gold, want me to unpack that one next? Maybe pull some tips from it too?
Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome.
Awesome. Chapter 6 really drives home this idea. If you want freedom, you have to own your pipeline. It's not enough to wait for agents to throw you deals. You've got to become the one bringing the business. Here are a few killer moves from that chapter. First, diversify your referral sources. Don't just focus on realtors. Think financial planners, divorce attorneys, insurance agents, even small business owners. Leads can come from anywhere. Second, create a niche program like a first responder or teacher homebuyer initiative. It gives you something unique to promote and builds instant trust. Third, start your own mini networking group. Bring in realtors, planners, attorneys, and position yourself as the connector. You become the hub, and people refer to the hub. And fourth, follow the 3 C's: comfort, confidence, and convenience. Make referral partners feel safe sending you business, trust that you'll deliver, and know you'll be available when they need you. You nail those, and suddenly you're not asking for scraps. You're leading the charge.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, Leo, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to actually shut you off, and we're going to continue on with the podcast and kind of unpack some of those things ourselves. So I do appreciate you kind of stopping by for a couple minutes and saying hello. So thank you, Layla.
Thank you, Layla. Appreciate you.
You got it. Rick and Adam, thanks for having me. It was a blast jumping in. I'll power down now and let you two take it from here. Keep climbing.
Awesome. Thank you. And by the way, so anybody that has ChatGPT, you can actually download.
Have a great session, you two.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Layla. So one thing I wanted to add for anybody listening, we Use the Ladder actually is a ChatGPT that's downloadable for anybody. It's called Ladder Insights. You can find it on ChatGPT. You can download it. It has the entire book. You can pull executionable items, quotes, stories. So there's a lot of kind of cool stuff on there. So yeah, so that was Adam, that was kind of interesting.
It was kind of interesting.
I will tell you, I guess a couple of things, right? I think that let's see if I can turn off my share. I think that AI is pretty crazy, right? And I know we've done an episode on AI before. This was literally an off the cuff,
just an idea we had in the green room before we turned to the camera. I mean,
I had actually originally used the Ladder Insights to come up with a podcast questions, and then it just kind of Adam and I went down this rabbit hole. We wanted to experiment with it as we're talking about AI, and we both unlocked the conversation feature with ChatGPT this week. We started playing with it, and we figured, why not have it as a guest on the podcast? Obviously, It was interesting, a little delayed, a little bit. Layla loved interrupting you for some reason. Not the nicest.
I know my place.
Not the most cordial guest we've ever had, but one of the more informative guests. So we wanted to have some fun with it. Hopefully, you guys had a thrill again, Adam. And I think you use ChatGPT and AI a lot for your business, right?
Not a ton for my business, but a little bit. I mean, I use it for ideas and kind of my growth plan and where I'm heading and building out my team and building organizational charts. And so I guess, yes, I do. But strategically in actual mortgage sales, I really don't. I use it more for building the business of my business and helping me grow the organization and the to-dos and the tasks that need to be done, and those types of things, primarily. But, what we were talking in the green room, like this weekend, I was using ChatGPT to help diagnose a problem on my tractor, which is when I unlocked the feature because my hands were all oily and I saw that there was this, feature to talk instead of, whatever. And before I had been using the mic feature, which would put it there and, but it wasn't like the interactive conversation like that we just had. Right. So, it's really amazing where this is going in such a short period of time. And, where does this go and how does it, how does it affect our industry and sales in general? Fast forward a couple of years. I have no idea, but I'm excited to kind of be at the helm.
Yeah. I've since our last podcast where we talked about ChatGPT and I actually uploaded a Word document that diagnosed driving personality factors. There's 6 of them, right? And it's like prestige, acceptance, money, knowledge, right? There's like these 6 different things. And what I've been doing is, obviously, I do a lot of recruiting for our company, but you could use this with realtors, right? Uh-huh. I use Claude AI, which is I don't know if you can see my camera. It actually records everything and creates notes for it. So I can do it on podcasts. I can do it on face-to-face meeting. I can do it for lectures, right? So, and I know there's a lot of different AI transcribing things. Mm-hmm. I take that transcription, I put it in, shout out to one of our guests, Kevin Gillespie. I call it Kevin Gillespie, the psychological analyzer. It's one of my ChatGPTs. Because he's the one that introduced this to me, I upload the transcription of the conversation, the raw transcribe, mm-hmm. and it will identify based on that conversation 2 identifiers. Okay. Or two of its driving motivations for that person.
Cool.
I then ask it a prompt to say, give me dialogue or talking points based on what you know about that person, and then it gives me talking points.
So it's giving a custom sales plan to sell that person.
Correct. So if I know that person is driven by prestige and sales, then I will have certain dialogue and certain kind of snippets and maybe I'll talk about sales trips and sales award trips. If they want to talk about, if it's belonging, a sense of belonging is a driving motivator, then I talk about culture, right? And if it's, an analytical person, that driving force is knowledge, and want to be the know-it-all or impressed by showing how impressed they are, then I'll ask them maybe open-ended questions about, pontificating about that knowledge. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. So I use it for that. I use it for social media posts all the time. I use it for emails, thought-provoking questions. I even created a podcast questions for guests, but it gave me like so many of them that I kind of didn't use any of them. It gave me like 50 questions, and I saw a couple that were kind of interesting, and then I, kind of forgot the rest. So
got them.
But yeah, I mean, it's this feature of kind of talking to it is kind of cool. Obviously, there's a lag, right? There's a little bit of a delay. It's made her not the perfect guest, but it's crazy how I guess the biggest takeaway I can give to anyone listening, we obviously, you and I have been in this business for a long time, and we can take 1003s and calculate income probably on a napkin. And there's probably a lot of listeners that do take a handwritten 1003. I will tell you, people are embracing technology and embracing AI, right?
Fast.
And if you don't, and you could, I've had conversations with people that have a moral or ethical or, hey, it's taking our jobs away and all this stuff and all this hysteria, which, yeah, maybe it is. But guess what? They're taking your job away whether you adopt technology or not.
Well,
so
the one thing that is true is change is constant. And if you don't adapt, you'll be left out. I mean, I feel like right now, ChatGPT is the internet in 95. Like it's coming. Everybody knows it's here, and it's going to change the way the world works. And then like the late 90s, we had this www tech boom, right? Like they'll probably have an AI boom in the next few years.
I think they are now. I mean, you're seeing
starting now.
There's tons of different AI. There's, OpenAI's ChatGPT is the one that was ground zero. And the good news is they're not resting on, they're not MySpace and they stopped growing, right? They're continuing to grow. But there's others, right? There's Fixer AI, which helps you with email, like can really read your emails and draft responses in your voice, right? So there's things for video content. There's a lot of crazy stuff. And I think we're just kind of scratching the surface, and that, I
mean, it's interesting because I don't know, fast forward 5 or 10 years, are people going to even want to deal with humans? Big question. Like, I mean, it may be more efficient to have a conversation with a bot.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know, but I once heard, I'm blanking on his, Jeff Bezos give a presentation, and I came up to Jeff, founder of Amazon, and they said, what's going to be different in 10 years? And he said, my whole career, people always ask me that, but the best question to ask isn't that question, but rather what's going to be the same in 10 years? Figure that out, because change, we can't control change, but we can control constants. We can control those things. And if we focus on how to leverage tech in what will be the same, I think that's where growth could be found in the next decade.
That's actually awesome. That's an actually great thought-provoking, what is going to be the same, right? And the one thing I think of from a mortgage growth, loan officer sales is basically relationships.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care what I think chapter 2 is they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And building relationships. Zig Ziglar, right? Relationship. People
help others get
if they trust you, they will like you. If they like you, they may buy from you, right? And while AI can make things more efficient, right? Like there's now AI answering bots. I mean, you can maybe you don't need an assistant for your business that AI can maybe do for you, right? I think our last podcast, maybe 10 episodes, was we talked about ChatGPT. We talked about Carl White. He said, I hired seven new employees to my team. 5 of them are AI, right? 5 of them are ChatGPTs, right? And I don't think it will replace people. I think people, especially in the mortgage industry, people, they're very nervous of their financing. They're very nervous of they want to have a conversation. They want a custom fit plan, even though that plan might be the same that you've done for the last 10 customers, but they want to be heard. And they want, Alex Arsley, one of our top producers, calls it, everyone has a unique financial DNA. Right? And our job is to understand that financial DNA and give them solutions that fit for them. And while ChatGPT might be able to do that for you, I don't think they'll trust it in 10 years. But I think that we can, but if we don't embrace it at AI, I mean, you, for example, I'm looking at your screen, right behind you is the Crown Home Mortgage Championship belt, because you closed 20 loans last month. Congratulations. So you got the belt. Now,
Thank you for that, man.
I will tell you, you didn't do 20 loans by yourself. You have an army.
Yeah.
Mostly human, right? But I think all of them are human. At least the ones that come to work every day are human. But
I'm a pretty analog guy, you know. I mean, but
the point is, you delegated. You wouldn't have been able to reach where you are today without delegation. That delegation could be human capital. It could be people. It could be your process, your loan partner, your pre-approval specialist, your front desk person, your marketing person, right? All those people. But it could also be AI.
Yep.
Right? And AI is probably cheaper, right? Because it doesn't cost anything versus a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 salary. But there's probably a combination of both. Yeah. And you use ChatGPT to help you set up your structure and tweak your structure and give tasks and give that stuff, right? So, now you don't need an HR person. You don't need to, there's a lot of things that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? We talk about that all the time is you don't, use the ladder. The book itself is based on me stealing things from others and just making it my own. And that's really the mortgage industry, right? Like you, the LO and you, the branch manager, entrepreneur in Plattsburgh, New York, maybe there's someone listening to this podcast from Fairhope, Alabama, right? And they can emulate and learn from what you did to incorporate in their business. And I think that's where, AI comes in a little bit, for sure.
Nice. Well, this was a really cool experiment. And honestly, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I think it was a really cool conversation. It was really cool to bring Layla into the mix. And I'm really excited for the future and to see, what's behind door number 2.
I love it. So, you know what? If you want to see what's behind door number 2, tune in next week to the Growth Mindset Podcast. With that, I will say adieu. Thank you so much, Adam. As always, you're not only a business partner at Crown, a business partner at the Growth Mindset Podcast, but also a good friend. Love hanging out with you. My best part of my day is when we do this. So I appreciate you. I know the listeners do. So thank you so much for everything.
Well, and it's a two-way street, man. I mean, it's everything you've built here, the group of people that you've brought together. We love you leading the pack here at Crown, and based upon some of the conversations that we've had, I'm super excited to see what the next 3 years bring. I know that we are going to get to our goal of $1 billion in funding just through attraction. So I'm super excited to be by your side and be along for the ride, brother. And I love shooting these videos. So thank you so much. And I think that's all we got for today. So I guess take it away, Eric, with all the legal stuff, right?
I love it.
All right, cool.
Till next time.
Cheers.
You've been listening to The Growth Mindset, hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your colleagues. Stay tuned for more actionable insights to fuel your career success. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily reflect the official policies, positions, or opinions of Absolute Home Mortgage Corporation or Crown Home Mortgage. The content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice or an official endorsement by either organization.